Marty Wendell. How are you doing?
Doing good.
You are a winner of a Listen Up Award.
Yes, very honored.
Absolutely honored to even have you there. So that made you ineligible the next year, because that's the way that we do our awards. But that makes you eligible again in 2025.
Exciting. Thank you.
So excellent. We actually are talking about maybe putting together some shows with nominees and winners of the past. So if you're down for something like that,
I'd love to do
it. Definitely hit me up. You brought in this the early years CD for me here, and it's got singles in a Lost album. You were just telling me a little story about the Lost album, which I think is a fun story to probably tell the abridged version of that.
It was kind of buried for probably 30 some years, and in 2020 the original producer, who's no longer with us, offered to send me the master tape, and unbelievably it was in beautiful shape. And so with this special album for our 60th anniversary, the Lost album is seeing the light of day.
60th anniversary, and it's a 60th anniversary tour. Did you ever think in your wildest dreams that you would have a 60th anniversary tour?
Absolutely not.
But man, like I was talking to Rich from Kansas. They're doing their 50th anniversary tour. And that's a big deal too.
Yeah, we did that in 2014.
Yeah. Well, yeah. Well, we'll be here for the 70th anniversary tour as well.
Live from the nursing home, right?
Exactly. So what's the first tune that you're going to play for us?
We're going to be releasing a new album this year called Telecaster Cowboy. And it's a lot of new material, kind of an Americana album. Mm-hmm. And this is one of the songs that will be included, which is called One Dream Short.
Ooh, I love the title already.
I poured Captain Morgan in my bowl of Captain Crunch. It was way too late for breakfast, so I ate it for my lunch. One more dirty dish to wash, if I ever find the time. You walked away with my whole world, I just might lose my mind. Now I'm hurting bad, I'm feeling so sad, and I guess it's really no surprise. I dreamed that you would be mine till eternity. Now I'm left one dream short of paradise. The tavern on the corner's closed, no one's on the street. All I have's an empty room, my days, they just repeat. I'd probably pack my suitcase if I had somewhere to go and escape this deafening silence and the clock that's ticking slow. Now I'm hurting bad, I'm feeling so sad, and I guess it's really no surprise. I dreamed that you would be mine till eternity. Now I'm left one dream short of paradise. I'm left one dream short. I'm left one dream short. I'm left one dream short of paradise.
I love it. I love it. Absolutely.
Other than my arthritic guitar playing, it's okay.
Give me a break. I've been playing guitar for probably about 30 years really terribly. Been stuck in the same spot. Like,
Yeah, I have a lot of hard time not doing the bar chords and stuff. I used to be able to do all of that stuff.
Yeah. Well, you're still better than most of us. My son had picked up the guitar just the last couple of years and already is better than me.
Oh, my son blew me away years ago.
Look, I
He
love
plays
that.
lead in my band.
Does he?
Yeah, he fronts my band.
That's cool.
Yeah,
That's awesome.
We've been playing together on stage since '93.
That's amazing. Yeah, that's like a dream come true, really, to be able to play with your son.
Yeah, he has 50-some guitars.
Woo.
But I always said, if your kid's going to be addicted to something, guitars are pretty good. You know?
Amen to that.
Yeah.
Absolutely. That's an addiction you don't want to break.
Right.
Unless you're Johnny Morse. You need to sell some of those things.
Right. That's another one. I didn't do that. There's another song that's going to be on the Telecaster Cowboy. And it's kind of about finding your place in the world. Back in the 60s, somebody told me that you'll find your place in the world. And thinking about that, I guess I kind of think my place has always been on the fringe. And this is what that song is about.
I've never found it easy to color inside the lines or do things someone else's way, 'cause I'd rather do it mine. I'm always left to center, but I never come unhinged. I'm just used to living somewhere out there on the fringe. Somewhere out there on the fringe, moving to the beat of my own drum. Somewhere out there on the fringe, it's anybody's guess what I'll become. I have no use for small talk or things that make no sense. There don't seem to be no rules that somehow I can't bend. I've reached into the fire close enough that I got singed. I'm way too used to living somewhere out there on the fringe. I find it hard to hold the line, walk the straight and narrow, where there's signs that point the way. I just ignore the arrows when others shout demands at me. It only makes me cringe. It's the life that I keep living somewhere out there on the fringe. Somewhere out there on the fringe, moving to the beat of my own drum. Somewhere out there on the fringe, it's anybody's guess what I'll become. I'm just used to living somewhere out there on the fringe.
I love it, man. You're a fantastic songwriter.
Thank you. Thank you so much.
So have you ever submitted your music to like movies or anything like that?
No, I haven't done.
I would send that one in. Somebody would pick that up. You'll be on Netflix anytime now and get those royalty checks rolling on in. I'm sure you got some royalty checks though over the years.
Oh
right?
yeah, I still get them.
Those are nice.
Not huge ones, but
Well, they start out big and then everyone's
it's
smaller.
just those streaming stuff doesn't pay.
Nah.
It's a waste of time, really.
Oh yeah,
But to get you out there, that's the.
it does. It does. I mean, it's a whole new ball game these days when it comes to music and how you can make money off of it. And it seems to be that you have to keep on touring in order to make some money.
Well, you make more selling a CD than 100 streams or 200 streams or whatever.
Yeah.
Selling one.
The math doesn't add up.
No, absolutely.
That's crazy. All right.
Should we do something new or something old?
You're the boss.
Oh.
It's your tunes. I'm just sitting back enjoying it and feeling very gracious that I could actually have like my own personal concert.
All right, we'll do one more from the Telecaster Cowboy, I guess.
There are days when I think about what lies ahead. Where will this world be headed to after I am dead? Will those I love be able to survive? Will it be too hard for those who are still alive? I can't help but question what will be when I'm just a memory. Will the darkness finally give way to the light? Will the people learn to share instead of fight? Will anyone be there for those in need and overcome the selfishness and greed? I still have to question what will be when I'm just a memory. When I'm gone beyond both time and space, will I have left this world a better place than when I came? Will love somehow eradicate the hate? Or will more senseless violence be our fate? Will some still have the courage to resist? The ones who stand and shake an angry fist. So I ask this question, what will be when I'm just a memory? When I'm just a memory.
That one been really hit with the times. I was going to ask you about that too. If any of your new writings, if you got any influence from the outside world and all the craziness. But
Yeah.
I could see it in that one.
Yeah, definitely.
And yeah, it's a wild world. I think. Well, first of all, I hope that song becomes the anthem of the world.
We've been doing that as kind of my last song before the finale of the concerts. We tried it out last year, and people really like it. So it definitely made the album.
I can see why.
Recording is something I really enjoy doing, and writing. Obviously, I write in spurts.
Okay.
You gave me a title and said, go home and write a song, I might not be able to do it.
I can.
But if I lived with it for a few weeks, then one day I might sit down and 15, 20 minutes I'd have the song.
Sure.
It's just.
Well, some songs are like that. I mean, as a songwriter myself, I mean, some songs you knock out, it's gold instantly.
Yeah.
Sometimes you're working on the same song for a decade
Yep.
and you come back to it.
Yeah, I've done that.
Mm-hmm.
The album before Rock and Roll Days was called A Real Good Run, and that was all songs I wrote kind of from the perspective of an aging artist. And that was the first one I actually wrote all the lyrics first, and then put the music to
That's
them.
different.
That's the only time I've done that. All of this stuff has been, music and
Right.
lyrics at the same time. And then Rock and Roll Days and Risky Business both made Grammy runs, which was, I never thought I'd be
Right.
up against Bruce Springsteen and Alison Krauss and Sheryl Crow and all those kind of people. And actually those years they didn't get them either, so I can't feel bad, and I didn't expect it.
Well, Risky Business, we get that a lot of play.
I appreciate that.
I think we might have premiered that. If not, I'm taking credit for it.
No.
I'd like to premiere this next one.
Mm-hmm.
I'm really feeling the vibe of these songs quite a bit.
Yeah, this was just a concept I had. The image of the Telecaster cowboy and the whole Americana kind of thing, which is where they've kind of slotted my music into. Rockabilly, definitely a primary influence. I was influenced by the artists of Sun Records more than probably anybody, and in 2002 had the exceptional opportunity to do a session at Sun.
Yeah.
And my favorite story is when we went in the studio, which is basically the same room, the tiles Sam Phillips put on the ceiling, and other than the addition of a lot of pictures of different artists that have recorded there. And the guy who produced my session was James Lott, and he showed me this X on the floor, and he said, well, that's where Elvis always stood. You want to stand there? I said, no.
No. Right.
Not going there. But
Wow.
I, of course, never thought I'd be in that room.
Sure.
Nonetheless, to think of recording there, and it was just an amazing experience.
I can only imagine. 60 years. How many songs is that when it comes to actually having songs that have been produced and recorded?
Well, we've done, I think the latest album was 18 and the Telecaster will be 19 full albums. Plus I have a wealth of songs that I've only, a few years back, I did some demos, just what you did here, guitar and vocal, because I don't write music, I write lyrics and the chords, and had the thought that if I don't do something with these, nobody would, they could pick up the sheet and have no idea what the song is. So we did some demo sessions. I think I've got about 8 or 9 of those with an average of 10 to 12 songs on each. So that's a whole other, I have notebooks full of these, and we tried to get some of those down. And, you write a lot of songs, and some, aren't, I'm sure, great songs. But in the mix, you get some that kind of rise to the surface a little bit. And that's what we've tried to do with the recordings, try to get the best material.
Mm-hmm.
And
Well, you mentioned like having them written, and like if somebody found them or something, they wouldn't be able to really figure out the song. And I think a lot of that comes down to the melody that you were writing it to. I remember a few times, one time in particular, I felt like I wrote one of the greatest songs I've ever written. And then I went back to it, and for the love of God, I could not find that melody. And it was pretty much trash after that.
yeah.
So I don't know if you are doing this now with the modern technology, but you have your phone over there. So knowing that lesson and learning that lesson, now it's like I got some lyric ideas, melody goes right into the phone, and that's how it's done.
Absolutely, because that's what happened on the Rock and Roll Days album. There's a song called Teardrops of Gold, and I actually got that title from Johnny Cash in a dream.
Oh, cool.
And I'd never paid a lot of attention to dreams, but we were up in Thurman, New York, in the dream. I was putting my shirt on in the bus, getting ready to go on. My son's out there opening the show, and the door opens, and Johnny Cash comes on the bus, and he says, "Martin," he always called me Martin. He said, "I need you to do something for me." He said, "I need you to write a song called Teardrops of Gold. Will you do it?" I said, "Yeah, I'll try." And then he walked off the bus. And at that point, I woke up, and I got right up, went to my office, and wrote that title down, because I knew if I went back to sleep, it'd be gone. And
that's a visitation, if you ask me.
And a few weeks later, I saw the piece of paper with it on, and I said, well, it was a dream, but I said I'd do it. So I actually did sit down, and people really seem to like that song a lot.
Wow. I love that stuff. Hey, Paul McCartney said he wrote Yesterday in a Dream.
Yeah.
And then he started wondering if he heard it somewhere else and if he ripped somebody off.
Yeah. Yeah.
That's easy to do. I've written lyrics that I realized, like, I think maybe I got that from somewhere. Couldn't really pinpoint it. But as I mentioned, I play really shitty guitar. I was playing this song one day. I'm like, this is one of the best things I've ever played. And then I decided to play it faster. And I'm like, oh, yeah, that wasn't mine.
You figured
all.
it out.
Yeah, it was definitely not mine. But I mean, that happens. There's only so many notes.
Well, I think you take in a lot of influences, and you know, at times probably you do kind of touch on previous work, but so far I haven't been sued, so I guess
that's right.
I guess it's okay.
Well, that's right. Well, you could at least say, hey, I've been around for 60 years doing this, so it probably was mine first.
Right. Right. Yeah, 64 was the first time I put together a band and started doing shows. And in 65, I did some solo work in Greenwich Village, which was exciting because that's when a lot of the people that became famous were there. I saw Mama Cass when she was with the Mugwumps, long before she was Mama Cass.
Wow. John
Sebastian. If my memory's right, I think Dylan had already moved on a little bit. But it was an amazing time, and just to be in that scene, that's like where the action was.
Right.
And interesting, you could go to Washington Square Park, bring your guitar, sit down and start playing, and within 5 minutes you'd have a crowd. You know, people would just stay and listen. And the fun thing was, especially I played a few of the little coffee houses, they wanted your original songs.
Yeah.
Unlike club audiences, you know, hey, play Proud Mary. No, none of that. It was, you know, yeah, we want to hear your songs.
Love that.
And so it was a creative environment, I guess you'd say.
Oh yeah, that was the place to be back then. I often wish I was born, 20 years earlier. I really do. I feel like there's just so much I missed out on. Then I feel like maybe I should have been born, 60 years earlier.
Yeah.
My grandmother once said to me, "Oh, you guys think you know how to throw parties?" Because we thought we did.
Mhm.
She goes, "Have you ever had an orchestra in your house?"
Yeah.
And I'm like, "You're really cool, Grandma."
And I think that was a great thing for me, is really I experienced the birth of rock and roll,
Right.
not just read about it.
Mm-hmm.
And I could hear it on the radio, the change in the music. I was telling you earlier about the stations playing all kinds of music,
Right.
not genre, but then slowly, when you started hearing the Bill Haley and the, Jerry Lee Lewis, Carl Perry, the Sudden people,
Mhm.
and all, well, it really started to, what would you say, become cohesive more, that
Right.
this is where music is going, and the stations kind of started to grab
Mhm.
onto it themselves, so that it was a whole change. And interestingly, a lot of my friends, they were having to fight with their parents to even buy these records or listen to them on the radio.
Right.
And my parents were very involved and loved the new music. And I actually have handwritten notes from Johnny Cash to my mother. She was one of his first people. She
No
brought
kidding.
home the first album. And that's how I learned to play. Just got it in guitar and tune and learned those songs. And
cool is that?
he would send her his dates where he was gonna
Mhm.
play. And yeah, that's something I still hold on to.
Wow.
And it
Absolutely.
was through her, she got to be friends with one of his sisters, and she put me in touch with this talent agent in New York. And he said, "Oh yeah, you gotta meet Johnny Cash and I'll make it happen." And he did. And in '63, I met him for the first time.
That's cool.
And the story of that is he handed me a Gibson B25 12 strings. That, "Son, play me one of your songs."
Wow.
And I had never touched a 12 string.
Oh yeah, right. There's some
So,
pressure.
Yeah, and to this day, I can't remember what I played for him, but he was very gracious. That sounds good. And then he started playing some stuff he'd recorded, including "Dark as a Dungeon," and there was a couple more. And the talent agent comes back, and we were in the dressing room, and says, "John, they've announced you 3 times on stage." Well, he had to throw down the guitar and get going out there. But that was my first meeting with him.
Wow.
And then the year after, Jerry had me with him, and that's when he had the Statler brothers, June Carter, Tex Ritter,
Mhm.
and got to meet a lot of those people. Then Pete Seeger came in the dressing room, and on my Live at Lena's album, which is just a solo album for my 50th anniversary, I tell all those stories, and it was a lot of fun. But then in '68, with Hey Hey Mama, it was doing real well in the Northeast and New England and Mid-Atlantic. And so I got booked to be an opening act, and that was the tour where he was promoting live at Folsom Prison. So part of
tour.
history. Part of
That's
history.
huge. Absolutely.
And you've probably seen on my website, I have some great pictures with
Oh yeah.
him, and over the years. The last time was '96. He came up to Saratoga, and my son Sean, who's my band leader,
Mhm.
and produced a lot of my albums, we were his guests. And that was really great because it was only within, I think, about a year after he got too ill to tour anymore.
Right.
So we had that last kind of opportunity to spend a little time with him.
That's really nice. I'm glad he got to put out that last album too, which here's my 6 degrees of separation. My junior high girlfriend did a song or two on that album with him. I didn't realize she was going to become Fiona Apple.
Oh, right.
She was just annoying Fiona to me.
Yeah.
She stole my jacket. She was all right. I knew that she played piano, and she actually met her in Connecticut. We were staying at a resort during the summer, and every day from Connecticut, she would go to Manhattan every single day for piano and some kind of dance lessons. But then she would come back to the resort, and I never heard her sing. I used to spend time on the phone with her and all this. I never said once "Hey, will you sing me a song or play anything?" It was more like, "I gotta go."
Yeah. Yeah, no, she did. She recorded with him. And,
Yeah.
I always have felt that that was just such a great thing that he ended his career on a high note.
Right.
Uh,
Big time.
Rick Rubin gave him that opportunity to just be himself. That's all he said. I want you to be Johnny Cash. And he had that, probably 6 or 7 albums with Rick, and did all just kind of stuff he wanted to do. And
The best.
yet it really gave him a whole new generation of people.
I really enjoy talking to you. I talked to you in the past. You always got, like, I got stories, and then you got stories, and I'm like, man, well, there's still time.
That's what makes it.
That's right. But
So coming up, the things we're looking forward to, of course, is our concerts.
mhm.
And we have 2 specials for the 60th anniversary. The first one will be July 13th at Cafe Lena.
Okay.
And we'll have some guest artists, the Bluebillies and Greg Bucking. And Greg's going to help me reprise that new release of Girl from the North Country,
Love it.
our Bob Dylan tribute.
Yes.
And then August 10th, we're going to be at the Linda, and we're going to also have Jim Gaudet and the Railroad Boys and Carolyn Shapiro. So that should be fun doing some music
Well, I'm
with
big
them.
fans of all of you.
Mhm.
So that's great.
So those will be 2 special shows, but we've got a whole lot of other shows all over the Northeast, and you can find them, of course, at martywendell.com.
Mhm.
And if any shows are added, it gets put there. And we're just hoping a lot of people will come out and celebrate with us, because like you said earlier, this is not something you kind of expect. I couldn't have, back in '64, if somebody had said, oh, well, 2024, you'll still be, doing this, I would have probably questioned their sanity,
Well, 2024 back then, when I was a kid, seemed like that was going to be Futurama.
Oh yeah, we'd be the Jetsons or something, yeah.
It seemed like we were going that route.
Yeah,
We skipped over all of that and just went to AI.
yeah, but it's exciting that we're doing this season, and the new albums, and continue to do new music, as well as, we do some of the classics, and 57 Chevy, people always get disappointed if we don't throw that in. That was from our Rockabilly Heart album, and that's probably my excuse me, biggest downloaded song.
Okay. All right. Well, I mean, there's nothing better than a 57 Chevy.
Absolutely. Well, thank you for taking the time to feature me on Radio X. And,
Yeah, man.
We just are so happy to have people like yourself who are bringing a lot of different music to people. And I think there's such a need for that. And we've got a nice music scene here in the capital area.
You really do.
And a lot of talent, and you guys make it happen.
I appreciate you coming through. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much.
Absolutely.